Hello and welcome back. The Roottrees are still dead, but I did some digging around between episodes and I found something that we hadn't yet typed in to the search bar. So you ready? It is 5 pieces. From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottree Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colourful shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavour that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavours, but the shape and combination of the maple have remained consistent. There is also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from the book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Well, The Sweet History of Candy 2 by Charles Lee, you say? I wonder whether we can do anything with that. That is it's gonna be very annoying if it's a dead end. I gotta tell you, this is gonna be like devastating if it's a dead end. Aha! I did it. This is part of a book series all about things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onwards to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s. Gonna look at volume 1. Aha! This is a book about all things candy throughout history. It starts with historical accounts dating back to the ancient Egyptians and chronicles candy through the year 1924. It includes some print advertisements from companies you've heard of, including an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces that Charles Lee included due to a major misprint added to evidence. Volume 3? There wasn't a Volume 3. But we now have 2 new things to look at, which at the very least means we will not be looking at the same 5 images over and over going, do they look more like a farmer to you? So, Roottree 5 pieces. You found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 1 by Charles Lee. It's from 1924, 2 years after the debut of 5 pieces. The author included it because the spelling error on the word available near the bottom. It states the flavours are inspired by their children and the order is grape, elderberry, egg cream, cinnamon extract and melon. Yep, you were literally just meant to work it out that way, huh? I understand. Well, I'm creating a highlight anyway. Let's have a look at this one. You found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavours are inspired by their children, and the order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavour, miracle berry. Oh. Well, that's devastating. You know what we could do as well? Oh no, I played it. I was thinking we could turn on the radio and see what happens there. Okay, now we've done that. What is the best-selling thing right now? What was it called? Maybe we could look that up. We look up the modern candy. Does it say it in here? No, I'm trying to remember where it was. There was definitely something earlier. Earlier, there was something with a thing much earlier in the game. So there was like a maple candy that people were talking about. Wonder if it was even. Maybe if I just look at Roottree, like just do Roottree, which is the worst search we could do. Okay, yeah. This is a little bit too generic. Roottree Candy Company? There we go. Oh, interesting. Anderson Maple Farm is telling us more about that as well. Which we already knew. We've been to this page before, but I was just like, oh yeah, that would be an easy way to find this earlier. As no CEO or stakeholder, instead it's run by a president with input and votes from the extended family. Have we read this before? Okay. Its site does mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl Roottree, who despite his death is listed as current president. The product that puts them on the map were the 5 pieces maple candies with 5 different flavours dipped in crispy crackly candy coating. Since then they branched out to other countless products, all of which incorporate maple in some way. The sister company, simply entitled Root, specialises in children's clothing. Primary models for Root are the Roottrees Sisters. Okay, is there anything with the Anderson Maple Farm that we can do here? Okay. We've done this one before. Yeah, she would have been a housewife. Yeah. Go back. Let's see if there was anything else in here with Roottree. We had Roottree Motors as well, which we saw before. We know where that one goes. No notifications right now. Roottree Motors? Yeah, which I've already seen. Yeah, that's fine. And then there was Wilkins Motors. That didn't get us anything, but then we found it in here as well. Now I'm just like going back through the major hits. Roottree Motors was in here as well. What if I look for... Okay, what if we look for Stephanie? Stephanie Jones. It says we've got more info. Let's look for Stephanie Jones. Let's see if we can find any info about her family. Now that we know she's relevant. Okay. Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner, lived there. She grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. She is a distant cousin of the Roottrees. Her mother, Carolyn, a local artist, who appeared on the front cover of the Butler County... She appeared on the front cover. She must therefore have an article. Yes. Okay. So, first of all, her mother is definitely an artist. Do I have that locked in here? Mother artist. Yes. And Carolyn. Perfect. So then we are going to look up Carolyn Roottree because she was on the front cover. Where are we? Carolyn Roottree. Sorry, this is the only clue we've had in like a couple of hours, so. Carolyn Roottree. You literally said that she appeared on the cover. She's not called Roottree though, she's called Carolyn Morden? There we go. That's why we didn't find her previously. Find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Carolyn Morden. There isn't much about Carolyn as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there's an image of Carolyn standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It's captioned Carolyn standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. The sculpture is one of many works featured in an upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. Wait, that page 2 that's full? No. I was worried that I'd filled 2 of these pages with nonsense. We'll have all of that though. According to a quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front has been added to your evidence. Aha. You are Carolyn. Which is you. I did it. Yes! We locked in 3. At last. I was right, she was a housewife. Booyah. Okay. That's you then. We agreed. It kinda looks like... Oh no, it's definitely her. Wait a second. We put you in there. But it's definitely you. It was beret person. Did I not have something else? I must not have had a third. I must not have had you finished or something. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. At least we got 3 locked. The image that accompanied the story about local art in the Butler County Times is captioned Carolyn standing next to her sculpture Atlantis Burden. The sculpture is one of many works featured in an upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and Beauty of Women. Okay. Just thought I'd click it and see. Well, let's look up this. Yeah, let's search that specifically on the internet. Okay, how about Carolyn Morden. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But she's also writing a book, which we can find at the library. Wait, although it's upcoming, so probably not. We probably have to find it on the internet, but that's fine. Let's go for that, followed by Carolyn Morden. Aha! Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Mostly, well, first of all, there we go. Mostly black and white pictures of Carolyn's art. The centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. In the intro, Carolyn talks about her influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation, and in her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Wilson, huh? Yeah, I don't know which one is Dr. Wilson. Maybe... I'll go back to this first of all. Right. Their marriage has led her to double down on her passions, art and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. Okay, she comes out strongly against Roottree Company's effect on the local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, and that the only good thing that he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art and the beauty of women. Right. So this is Mark. Landon. I see. I probably could have got that because she was Landon. That makes sense. And this is Eloise. Only named Eloise. So that's her one done. Did she say that both of them abandoned their passions? To settle for boring men. It doesn't say they didn't do anything, it just says they settled for boring men. Let me look for Dr. Wilson. I'm taking a stab in the dark. Okay, so I have to be a little bit more specific on the root tree, but I don't have to be specific when typing Dr. Wilson. I feel I got away with a lot there. Okay. Dr. Stephen Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Though there are lots of Stephen Wilsons and Dr. Wilsons, this one apparently found a way to game the search results as he pops up top every time. Oh, it did explain it. Okay. So I'm assuming that Stephen Wilson would be your name. Okay. His website claims he is pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is he was apparently the doctor to the Roottree Sisters. There's a picture of him on his website as well as a picture of his three children. The three of them look as though the photographer was holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There's also a quote, though credited to his child Jason, that you might suspect was not written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the entire world and he treats every patient with world-class care. He'll treat your children like he would me, my big brother, or my sister. Okay. That was not written by a child, you are correct. Okay. That is a horrible photo. Yeah, okay. So, that'll be him then. And then his three children, who are the ones we care about, because they're actually related to, yeah. They're all, yeah, they're actually related to, what's his name? To Elias. Dr. Stephen Wilson's kid. The quote below in the picture was credited to Jason. We've just read that. Picture has a date on it. So it's taken 2 years ago. Yeah, so you are Jason. You are Jason Wilson. You are a child. You are that person. I assume your last name is Wilson. Wilson, your name is Jem. Okay. And I am assuming that you are also a child. Your name is Zach. And I'm assuming that you are a student at college because you have just graduated. Well done. Oh, dear. And we've got some optional entries locked in as well. Yep. Oh, yeah.
On the phone, I said I owed you an explanation. But I can't reveal everything. Not yet. I'm sure this all seems like deception for deception's sake. So I'll try to explain why.
It's because you think there's an illegitimate child somewhere in the family line and you think they deserve inheritance?
It's true. I'm working with lawyers. But not the candy company lawyers. My publisher's lawyers.
Uh-huh. Wait a second. Are you Caroline?
I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees. Especially Elias and the 5 Pieces. The truth often isn't. But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried it'll look like I'm making things up to exploit a tragedy. So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story. If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that. I hope you understand. That said, I can say that the work you're doing is very personal to me. To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed it. It's locked for now. I'll return one final time, after you fill it in. Also, there are fewer Roottrees left. In a sense, that makes it easier. Use process of elimination.
Well ahead of you.
It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they lock from here on out.
Please tell me you brought me a scrap of evidence.
I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake. You're getting closer and closer to the truth. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. So, do we have anything else in here? Oh, we just have this. That's fine. It says there's 6 intuition in here. Okay. So, I'm fairly certain that is Caroline, because she's about to finish her book. Although maybe not. Maybe it's somebody over here. Maybe it must be... Well, maybe it's you. I know nothing about you, I suppose. Okay. Where do I even start? We go back... Wait. Go back to the image. We go back to the image. Okay. So. What do we know here? We know that... Okay. Here's what we know. We know that somebody in here married somebody who would not be considered okay in south of Pennsylvania. Right? There was something in here. The most rebellious thing we've ever done, right? South of Pennsylvania. So I don't think it's this one. It's not names. Was it Clark? I think it was Clark. Right. It was brothers. It wasn't Clark then. Was it in the original diary? Might be an original Clark. No. Sam? Sam. Okay. I think it was in here. Sam might have been this. Green Thumb. No, it doesn't say it in there. I'm trying to find a specific thing. It was in a diary, I'm sure. The way it was phrased. Was it Dynasty? I know it doesn't say there's anything in here, but hear me out. I think there is. Okay. He just left. No, Sam. Okay, that's fine. Reginald Clark. Our generation was never so bad. The most rebellious thing any of us did was bring home someone who'd be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Okay. So, to me, that says that you have to be that person. And you have married somebody who would make this illegal south of Pennsylvania. You're going to have to be called Roottree. So you're something Roottree in here. You're definitely not going to be called Wolf. Or no, you could be November. You could be Christina. You could be Candy. But I think that's who you are. It just makes sense based upon where it is, right? Because if it's anyone of that generation, that's how it was described. So, going back to the image. That's the wrong image. Going back to the image. So I think you're locked in. I think you're Ernie. I've always thought you're Ernie. I'm going to click you and make you Ernie. That's Ernie. You seem like an Ernie to me. Okay. It said process of elimination. It probably didn't mean guesswork, but we know who you are. So anybody else? So, you know, one of you is Clark. You know, one of you is... And you kind of look similar. Your hair is kind of similar. I'm going to say that you are Gwendolyn. Okay, I think you're Gwendolyn, which would make you Gwyneth. You do kind of look sort of similar. So do you. Whoa, it glitched for a second there. Yeah, okay. Farmer. I'm gonna say, if it hasn't told me what you are, I think you're a housewife. For now. Okay. We're just going for pure, like, put somebody in energy here for a second. We have no idea who you're married to, but it doesn't matter. James Roottree had 2 children. Okay, so there are 2 Roottree children. So, how am I going to find your 2 children, James Roottree? What did your 2 children do? LaRue. So somewhere where I can find... Okay, so how about LaRue? So we're going to go Diamond LaRue. Okay. Sounds of Laughter. An album by Jim and Diamond released in 1989. You can't even find a picture of the cover. It does appear to be very successful. Reviews seem middling even... Doesn't appear to be very successful. Reviews seem middling even from fans. Some basic liner notes exist on Jim Roottree fan page, and it states the lyrics and guitar are credited to Jim Roottree and the vocals are credited to Diamond LaRue. Okay. Create a highlight for a second. So what about Cherry Tree? Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree album. Aha! An album by Jim and Diamond released in 1995. It wasn't professionally reviewed, though diehard fans of Jim and Diamond online say it was a return to form. The CD was apparently so hard to find in stores that some fans have resorted to selling cassette and bootlegs of it. There's a music commerce website that claims to sell the album, but it's sold out at the moment. You do find a short sample of one of the songs called Sun, you add it to your evidence. Okay. That's fine. Cherry Tree is an album. By that, we found this. Preview of the song's chorus. Jim sings the following. Previously, it told us the lyrics do not matter. Like, lyrics do not, aren't evidence. It didn't say it this time. The blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone, from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part I'd never be alone. In my heart, I'll always be the son of Joan? Joan? I remembered seeing the word Joan before. So in my heart, I'd always be the son of Joan? Uh-huh. Okay. Does that give us any clue about what their children's names might be? Or maybe I can look up Joan Monroe now. I mean, I could have looked it up before, but... Joan Monroe. In here? In the music one? Well, that's fine. Not quite what I was hoping for here. I'll always be the son of Joan. Okay. It said high numbers are not an accident. Okay, something that's personal to them. Shadowy figure appeared. Yeah, bloody blah, blah. Yeah, so nothing in there. Have we got all of this one? Well, all bar you. You don't have you correct. Elias C. Okay, well, we actually got some info, right? Where were we? So the original Clark. Original Clark had info. It doesn't say it has info, but original Clark definitely had info. Okay. Our brothers all seem to pursue passive knowledge. Paths of knowledge. Huh. So what path of knowledge did you pursue? So you were a lawyer professor? Does this mean you were an architect? How would I know if I was right? I was just thinking because he was meant to be similar. Not to you though, you were meant to be similar to him. Okay. Unknown occupation. What other things have we got in here? Public speaker, probably not. Okay, still don't know who you are. Still don't have the next part of here. Let's go back to Jim. Yeah, so let's go back a few. Cherry Tree album. Sun? Song? No. Okay. That's fine. Rolling down on the city, we've already had a look at, right? Yeah, okay. Sound of laughter, we couldn't find anything of. Public library only has books. Okay. Art and the beauty of women. I'm just seeing if there's anything in this one actually. Now we're just because we came back to it. Yeah. Double down on her passions, art and the environment. She married a man who was boring, but betrayed when Gwendolyn and her cousin gave up on their dreams to settle for boring men. We know what her cousin married? No. We could say that you were probably a housewife as well then, if we're saying we settled, but... well, it wasn't a Roottree. It wasn't Tessa Green Penelope. Yeah, so it wasn't that. It wasn't Quaritch April. It wasn't you. It could be Kellogg David III. It's Kellogg David III. Which must mean that you are Kellogg David IV, probably. Let me just look up. Kellogg David III. Kellogg David Kellogg. David Kellogg III. David... He is called Kellogg, right? Kellogg David III. Yeah. In the County Times. Business Watch. How's it actually phrased? Let me just double check that I got that right. Third dot. David third dot Kellogg. David third dot Kellogg. No, nothing. I think that has to be right though, and that means one of your children is David the Fourth, and one of your children is Bethany. How about Bethany Kellogg? Any hits for Bethany? Nope. Okay. I mean, it did give us the full list, and it has told us to use it, so we should. Are there any hits for Gwendolyn Morden? I don't know if we've looked for Gwendolyn Morden. Gwendolyn Morden. Oh no, we did earlier. Yeah, actually. Tessa Green? Tessa Green. Aha! Penelope Tessa Green is a retired comedienne. There's a result for the Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. TV star on Brother Trouble, you say? The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers doing more family-friendly material. You find a picture labelled Joko-Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labelled Jack wearing one of his mother's charity sets 1994. Both have been added to evidence. Okay. So, that's incredible. So, we have this one. Caption Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. You found this on a website about a comedy club called Laugh Lounge. It's a photo titled Joko-Lantern 1997. It's taken during one of Penelope Tessa Green's fundraisers. Okay. So this is Penelope Tessa Green. Yes. And that is you. And then I have to assume that this is Jack. That's 1997. And this is 1994, right? Yes. So this is child number 1, who is called Jack. This is child number 2, who is not. So your name is Jack Roottree, and your occupation is being a child. You are also a child. I don't know what your name is gonna be though. I don't think it's gonna be Wolf. I just can't believe it's called. I can't believe you were called Wolf. Are you Wolf? No. No, I was right. You're an unknown male, I think. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, baby. Wait a second. Are you called Wolf and your baby? No. I don't know if I'm one away either. But you're unknown male baby. There we go. I think. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. So we got something out of this. So, let's look her up. Well, first of all, let's highlight. Then I can just easily copy and then paste into here, and then Starlet? Team Blast? Ah. Penelope Tessa Green is mentioned in a few articles about Brother Trouble. The show stars TMS and DCB played her sons on television. Penelope's character was not really who teenage girls cared about. As a result, there's very little gossip surrounding her. Oh! Brother Trouble. Yes. This is how you were meant to get here. It says you were meant to go, oh, Penelope Tessa Green, that's somebody I should... Yeah, okay. I understand. She played their single mother. So although I put these guys in here, it would actually be a little weird if they were, but it's also the only place which makes sense. So although it's a little weird, that's where they're going to be. Also, if I look up Roxy, do I get anything? No? Okay. That's fine. Who is DCB again? Can you tell me who DCB is? DCB, Dustin Christopher Baker. I don't know if I ever looked him up. Copy. Is often abbreviated DCB by his teenage fans. After leaving Brother Trouble, he has appeared in a few straight-to-VHS movies that adapt classic literature with a family audience with minor success. The most popular being Jane Eyre, which reimagined Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with focus on skateboarding. It doesn't seem to be associated with the Roottrees. Team Blast. Mother was played by Penelope Tessa Green. Yeah, as far as you can tell. Okay. So that's how you were meant to get there. So you were meant to get there through that. I'm assuming that must mean you're Ronald. Right? Because you know each other. And you are a director. Which means that you are Robert. And I don't know which one you are. But you are Robert. Okay. So how many root trees do I have left? Okay. I have Christina, November, Wolf, and Candy. Do we know... And we know you have a son. Wait a second. We know you have a son. Therefore, one of your children is likely called Wolf, and the other is likely called November. Right? Because we've got to assume that everyone else is sane. So that's fine. That then leaves us not very many not too many root trees left. So you have to be Candy or Christina. I think you're more likely to be Christina. Then I'm missing one root tree somewhere. Or I'm not. Or there's a unknown male. You can't be Candy though. No. Are you Christina? Thereby meaning that yours is Candy? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that at all. Yours could be Candy, and then someone else's could be November. But that doesn't make me like it any better. So that's my rough guesses here. What if I look up Wolf Root Tree? That seems like a very easy one to look up. Wolf Root Tree. November Root Tree. Okay. Candy Root Tree. Okay, the other one is Christina Root Tree. Nothing at all. Nothing. Absolutely nada. And then Jack Root Tree? Jack Root Tree? Am I spelling Root Tree wrong? No. Okay. But Jack Root Tree, but we look at you in Teen Blast. In here. Starlet? Okay. So that's fine. So they're probably all too young. We still don't know Chris Rafferty at all. Jane LaRue? Did I ever look up Jane LaRue? Jane LaRue. Yeah, because she's called Jane Del Vecchio. Yeah. We could also look at her in other things. Like in there. Okay. That's fine. Take over one of the children in Oliver. Lucky LaRue's indeed. Okay. Anything else? Butler County Times. Starlet, nothing. Team Blast, nothing. Yeah, and then we're gonna look for this. Maybe we can find an advert, not in Team Blast, but probably in the County Times. So there's nothing from Jane. I feel like there's gotta be something more. How about Kim LaRue? Did we ever look up Kim LaRue? Kim. Yeah, so nothing for Kim. Kim LaRue via this. Yeah, so we already had this one. Great Uncle's record label. Great Uncle's record label. Wait, never mind. They're not in this family. Starlet. Team Blast. Okay. Yeah, this is where having detailed notes would have helped. Right, let's go back to the thing. It said high numbers are not a mistake, so rolling down the city has more info. According to the line, it satirizes how part of the society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East until pop culture tricked them into caring. It said most of the play came from roller discos. Doesn't get much play anymore. We got MMM, Jim Roottree, Diamond LaRue. The lyrics contain no clues. Peter Yanovich. He wrote for Modern Music Monthly. Civil unrest in the Middle East. You know you've run out of options when you're just typing civil unrest in the Middle East into your search engine and hoping it gives you some kind of amazing kind of insight. Okay. Peter Yanovich is the only person we've got any connection to here. And to mention a fan website about a band unrelated to the Roottrees. He used to work for Modern Music Monthly. Where does he work now? Not Team Blast. Not Starlet. None of those. So it was this. Okay. So, Peter Yanovich. Looking for a specific album name. May have better luck searching those instead. Album name. So, what would the album names called again? So, the album was called... If we leave this and go back to this one, which has nothing. Cherry Tree? Cherry Tree? And then the other one was Sounds of Laughter. And then the other one was Rolling, was whatever this rolling one was. So the other one was Rolling Down to the City. Rolling Down to the City. It does say if you have a specific name. Although I guess it's wanting you to just search like that. I understand. Okay. My cousin and his ex. So C and J, J and D. Grandpa insisted that he spend time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Yes, we know that now. Cutesy family thing going on. Okay, no more family band. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed what it should be. It was almost more interesting in catchy tunes. Okay. Okay, it's a lot happier now. Started Raffer tunes. Better jingle writer than songwriter. One of the benefits of a famous family is a massive Yeah, a company willing to be clients. So then we went to Raffertunes. We went to the thing and he had the Super Bowl ad. Yeah. And then we could find the Super Bowl ad, which then took us somewhere else. Okay. The jingle Need a Rest went on to be featured in other commercials. There's a jingle name, Need the Rest. Okay. Maple Crisp was the name of the thing I was thinking of a couple of leads ago. Am I full on page 2 now? Nope. Need the Rest. Then Maple Crisp. So let's see if we can search these. So let's now go back one. Need the Rest. Search. Famous jingle for the Roottree Maples, originating in the Super Bowl commercial. Jingle goes, when you're surrounded by madness and mayhem, reach for the best. There's not enough to share, but let's face it, you need the rest. Roottree Maples? Okay, Roottree Maples is the name of the company that makes all the stuff. That one? Nope. Okay. So then the other thing I want to search is Maple Crisp. There is nothing. Not even one article saying nope, this isn't right. Okay. Business Watch? Really? Nothing. Huh. Okay. I'm getting close to hitting the hint button. More evidence is there? Okay. Phrases mentions. Thought was fully explored, coming with a new perspective. Okay. Trick them into caring? Is that the phrase I want to search? Not ricked them into caring. We're not talking about Rick and Morty. Right. Economic inflation. Economic inflation? Okay, I'm just doing what it suggested here. What's the play came from? Roller discos. I'm not getting anything. Roller discos. Roller discos in the Butler County Times. Okay. Image is from an auction for a sealed copy. Auction for a sealed copy. Auction? No. Yeah, so it says there's 5 things off of this, and that's where I'm struggling. How can there be 5 things off of that? Newspaper clipping still has 2. But do we think these 2 are the clues to these 2? I'm going to put you back to housewife for a second. No, okay, you can go back to farmer. I was just curious. If you're not Ernie, who are you? You have to be Ernie. Okay. I think that you two... Oh my god, I did it. I just need to put the face back in. That's Christina? Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, in which case we know who Robert is. And we know that you are not Ernie. So one of you two is Ernie. It has to be you. Right? You've got green eyes. That's why you're Ernie. One of you I mean, that means that this has to be you, which actually makes sense because it does look like you. And then the one remaining face has to be... Well, actually, I'm not sure how it could be you, because... I guess this has to be you? Wait, no. You have to wear glasses. The reason he has to wear glasses is because you don't wear glasses and you don't wear glasses. So I think this is correct. He went heavy hair and then he lost it. Although you do look like you're slightly balding. So, you know, maybe that's it. You're not a farmer because we would have got that. So you must be a housewife. Based upon what we've learned before. Who else have we got here? We got a Cattrall. So you must be Sam Cattrall. Why would I think you were Candy Roottree? You're obviously not... You can't be Candy Roottree. You have to be Stephanie Cattrall. Which means that there should be a Candy Roottree option available somewhere. Which could be... Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm honest. Oh, you were Kellogg the Third. Yeah. Okay. But there's no way of finding Kellogg anywhere, so... That's fine. Sam Cattrall. Sam Cattrall. Double T Rall. Double T Rall. You in any of these? Nope. See, I think I'm missing something for this side entirely. Stephanie Cattrall? Stephanie Cattrall. Yeah, okay. I don't have that many pictures left. So unless you're the other way around. The other option is these two are the other way around, which is definitely possible. I'm looking at them. I think you're the other way around. Maybe. I don't know, I'm looking at both of you going. Maybe. That did not change anything. I don't know who you are. You're Edward's child, so you must be Candy. And... Well, you can't be a child anymore. I don't know. Candy Roottree? I'm assuming that it's not going to show up anything because I've already looked it up. But Candy Roottree? Nope. Alright. Back in here. What have we got? April Orich. Patricia Jones. Helen Lennon. Lucia Garcia. I think that has to be you. Yeah. Based upon what we know so far. We have no idea who you were married to. Let's look up Helen Lennon. Helen Lennon. Nope. Alright. Let's look up Luisa Garcia. Nope. Do I have any names that actually pop up anymore? April Quaritch. Let's try April Quaritch. April double R? Nope, nothing. Nothing at all. Still don't know what you did. We know that you went into some kind of profession that was, you know, they approved of. I don't know what that means for you. Yeah. I don't know what we're meant to take out of that. You were definitely a director. Yeah, yours was in there. I don't know what your brother was, though. You know there was stuff about RR. You know what this game could use? I think a search would be great. Like, you search a term and just see if you've ever seen it before. So I do kind of feel like we are clicking on things a few times going, is this it? Is this it? Blood relatives. Okay. Yeah. As the family changed their tune, they repaid his investment. Ernie Jr. Ernie Jr. is the person I can get off of that. So second cousin Ernie Jr. is the one I can get off of this, right? He had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. Wait, he had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. So you had to have a daughter around the same age as Raina. And that daughter is going to be either November or Candy. I feel it has to be November then. And then you're Wolf. Although I don't know why swapping them is going to do anything. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let's head out here. Team Blast. We still don't know anything in here. Grandpa was a college professor. He always told me history is full of people from famous families who wasted their fame and fortune. Okay, his older sister wrote a book that some of my friends tell me they read in school. Took his advice and I worked with my mom designing clothes. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Newspaper clipping. We got the campaign mailer. I think it's just getting us Caroline. But we already have Caroline, so who's this for? Yeah, 22 years later, a baby of her own, due around Christmas, a message for her voters simply love our future. Butler County Times? Yeah. Butler County Times. I wonder if there's something in here. Like, maybe if I search that on the internet, I'm gonna get something. It's presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles of the years involving Roottree family and those adjacent to them. It's been added to my search interface. As a side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County. It turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County or had any connection to it. Uh-huh. Yeah, Roottree Candy Company. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Nope. Alright. Names? Yeah, I am getting close to using the hint function. Okay. Yeah, so it's about the Elias. Using a naming generation to honor the last. Yeah. Family were named Edward and Clancy. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out, there must be some way to get another piece of evidence, right? Because currently our evidence has been lacking. You know what we haven't checked? There's one thing we haven't checked. Let's leave this. Let's look around the room a second. So, I haven't checked in that creepy closet. The bear has not got anything. So we got Riot Girl. So maybe he here is truly grasping at straws. Riot Girl. It was a subgenre of punk. Apparently it got started in Olympia, Washington when a few women got together to discuss sexism in the local scene. It's ballooned from there. Of course you knew this already. After all, you have a poster on your wall. Yeah, I mean it was a bit it was a little bit, you know, like a shot in the dark. See if I have anything else in here I can click on. Mystery Comics. Mystery Comics. This is the next one. Mystery Comics, anything? Mystery Comics. Mystery Comics. Mystery Comics, series of comic books published in the early 1940s, unlike many of its contemporaries, the characters did not have any superhuman abilities or powers. The stories focused on ordinary people caught up in peculiar circumstances, which were always solved by the end of the issue. Issue number 32 contains your favourite case, The Missing Branch. On her deathbed, an old woman reveals she had a secret child and demands all of its descendants share in her immense wealth. The estate's lawyers are perplexed. Who are these new beneficiaries? The only clue is a note they found on her dresser. Look closely at the family tree, all will become clear. With only minutes to go before the will reading, her son-in-law decides to take her note literally and uses a powerful magnifying glass to scour the illustrated family tree in her mansion's library, revealing the missing branch. The woman had secretly hired an artist who specialised in tiny illustrations, make sure they were included despite her evil father's attempts to stop her. The story is a bit far-fetched, but you can't help but love it. Yep. And then we have this, which literally turns the music up and down. Password, we have a duck. We can press it. Okay. Well, that reset me for a second. 2 names that must be typed in manually. Okay, let's see if we can make any assumptions about people. Right? You never show up anywhere else, neither does Helen Lennon. Neither do you. I'm assuming that you have to be the wife because you're the only one who sounds like they would have an issue with you. Which I assume means that you have to be the daughter in that image. Yeah. Okay. I assume Patricia Jones. Have we seen Jones before? We've not seen Jones before. We have the Kellogg's. It's really nothing to do with Kellogg at all. If I just search Kellogg or Kellogg's. Kellogg. Kellogg's. Okay. Wilson Kids, These Times, Revisiting the Diary, Sam's Names. Sam might be the sister figure it never was. Ernie was lucky to have her and eager to be in the family. Okay, he's excited. I mean, in terms of excited, I was kind of like... This person over here had the smile. He's like, oh, I'm super excited. But it was not the correct answer. Okay. I clicked the hints button. Give me 1. There's a tangent in James Roottree's spider search result that's worth investigating. Really? James Roottree. There's a tangent that's worth investigating in here, huh? The Diamond Dazzlers? Is that it? Wait a second. No. I've been waiting to hear the whole time for Diamond Dazzlers. Diamond Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in the Mail in a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it was no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent post about whether that's cool or pathetic. Among the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 included pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as notes about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Okay. The picture has been added to your evidence. You found a picture of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond to their fan club 1996. The description said it included a picture of his son Wolf listening to his parents' latest music. 1996. Okay, so that's 2 years ago. So Wolf has to be younger. And your current occupation is student. the Fluzzies. You have to be a little bit older, I'm assuming. Or the Floozies. Let's search that. All-female punk band operating out of New York City. They mentioned in passing in an online review from it earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for a band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual, and not because of the music, which he described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in a good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she told that they were rumoured to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said that she bought a copy. Although she bought a copy, she'd be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There was no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Okay, Candy was on vocals. Okay, and bass. Nikki was on bass, and then Nina was on drums. There's only one thing from it. So your name is Candy. This is you, and you were a musician. Oh, it feels so good to see the well done screen again. It's undeserved, but it feels so good. So that was Ernie, and that was Gwendolyn, who was a housewife, and then the other pictures were correct. Booyah. Okay, so your name is November. I don't know who you are, November, but you're November Roottree. Okay, Conquistador. Let me just do a search for Conquistador. It probably takes us to the same page. Yeah, I assume all of these take you to the same page. Okay. November. I'm just doing 2 steps at a time. Or 1 step at a time, sorry. Okay. So, although we got that done, you might be like, fantastic, we've succeeded. But we haven't. Because the problem is, we're in exactly the same situation. Wait, you're not a housewife. You were a housewife, but you are something else. You must be the farmer. Maybe. I don't know, it said you had a green thumb. So I kind of assumed that was farmer originally, and then it wasn't, and then it was, maybe, but I don't think you're any of these, so yeah, you must be a farmer. Right, that's fine. Give me another clue. Wow, that conspiracy site had a lot going. I noticed one thing that might be useful. Someone there seemed to have information on the Roottrees. You haven't been able to find info on Chris anywhere else. Why not see if his email gets us anything new? Alright, the conspiracy site, huh? WRTD? Yeah. Okay, so I did look into this and I just got the wrong, so Chris Raff thing, I even took it as a note, I just never actually thought to type the whole email address into the thing. Ah. Found a simple page called The Art of Rafferty, copyright 1997, on Prodigy that lists the author's email address as chrisraff75@prodigy.us. Below a bunch of GIFs that say under construction, there are a few art pieces. The first is a painting captioned "Me and my fiance Lulu." Painting I did for my first year at college that I plan to give to her when we get married in May. Go Tartans. There was an odd collage called Cousins, which seemed to be made up of 3 scrambled images. The accompanying artist's statement says, "We had to create a piece of art about our family. Asked as many of my extended family of cousins for their pictures as I could, and even some I've never met. Only a few of them got back to me, and my teacher said I wasn't allowed to use pictures of Raina, Riley, or Rose, so I had to get creative and use only my third cousins. This includes Davy, he swims for Yukon, Bethany's yearbook picture, she's Davy's younger sister, and Stephanie, who is an only child. Chris's artwork has been added to your evidence, but Cousin's photo will need to be unscrambled before you can use it. You've downloaded a new application, PixPops, to edit the photos." So it turned out I missed something on the conspiracy page, and that's where I missed everything, huh? So this is Chris and Lulu. This one needs to be unscrambled. Good. So Chris and Lulu. Let's do that first. Chris, you are a photographer. Artist. You are an artist. And we're looking for Lulu. Who would be you, I guess. Which means that that cannot be the name of your wife, I'm afraid, Edward. That's fine. Now we have to open Pixpop. Cousin zoomed 1. This is incredibly weird. There we go. This is a little bit cathartic after all of the time spent not solving anything, to have something that's just easily solved. You know? It's nice. There we go. I said easily solved, and then there we go. That's cousin portrait. Rotated. Okay. That's fine. Okay. There we go. Yeah, and that one's in there. And then this spins. So it's done. That's there. What's incorrect here? I just noticed I can rotate with the mouse wheel, and it's okay with that. Or it just said it at or it says it at the top. I was seeing whether that was upside down. That one's definitely not upside down. Is this not correct? Is this the upside down? There we go. That's fine. And then cousin sliced. Something like this. Okay. Yeah, so you know how I was saying the other one was kind of enjoyable? I don't think I extend the same thing to this one. So this has to go up here. It has to go 1 in. That needs to go there. This needs to go down and do the same thing. So we're going to pull this down till there's a white spot. And move you in. Needs to go in 2. Okay, that's fine. This needs to go up. And then over. Then here. Actually, this needs to go back 1, then here. Then this goes down. Those move back into place. So now if I want this to go in here, what I need to do is move this entire row out of sync. Move this down here, move it in, and then that row's back in sync. Then I need to do the same thing again. Okay. So that's now in sync. Oh, if I don't have the lights right, how are they ever gonna know who it is? Of course. How foolish of me. There we go. So that goes in there. Then I need to do the same thing over here. I did it. Cousin swim. What's this? No, I'm not gonna click it. I think it was probably going to tell me a hint because I was taking too long. Okay. I need to re-inspect the art project. So, art project. I just need to wait for it to stop saying new on each of these. Right, reinspect the art project, which is this one? Or is it back in here? Back in here, right? Yes, so Davy, Bethany, and Stephanie. David and Bethany. Okay, so that is over here. So we have David, Bethany, and Stephanie is an only child. You are a student. We're also a student. We're also a student. Is that not correct? Wait, when was this done? Wait a second. No, this has to be right. Which case, are you a housewife? No. Maybe I got what you do wrong. News anchor, politics, screenwriter, secretary. Secretary? I was wondering whether she worked at his what's it called? At his doctor's place? Maybe she's a nurse? Okay, I don't know what you are. I'm gonna put you back as farmer. Wait, no, I should have 4 if I got these right? So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I should have these right. So why are you not an artist? You're a college student. That's what you are. You're a college student. Well done. 41 out of 50 blood relatives. 45 out of 50. I refuse to let the game fully beat me. It's getting there though. I am using hints. So unknown occupation. I still feel like I'm... Wait, you're not a student? You must be a college student then. Okay. Right, back to here. This is fine. Use Pixpop to do it. Tartans. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Swims for Yukon. Ah, yeah, so college student. That makes sense. I'm afraid I have to use the duck again. Because we're in the same situation. Lauren mentions the name of Jim's father. Yeah? I mean, she sure does. I just don't know what his occupation is. Read the next generation photograph carefully to determine which of the men is Eli C. Uh-huh. You find mention of Eli's occupation in an article about someone closely related to him. Do I? Clancy, maybe? Wait, unless it's Carl and I missed it. No. Clancy? Carl? Edward? And then what's the... Clancy Jr.? Okay. But somebody closely related to him. James? Could it be his son James here? And then in Music Monthly? Jim? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Clark never knew her father, so he spent time with his dad and me. Regardless, yeah, that's fine. It's much better that. That's also how my father was connected to Roottree. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls. Oh. You're an ad man. Okay. Here. Guy Hudson's death sounds a bit suspicious. Perhaps a local publication might have more details. I thought I looked up Guy Hudson in here. Nope. Although the Butler County Times does not archive their obituaries, they did a front page story in 1982 about Guy Hudson and his wife Patricia dying in a car accident. The story itself is surprisingly light on relevant details due to the recency of the accident. Police reported the crash was caused by an unidentified driver who swerved in front of the Hudson's car, causing them to brake hard and veer off the interstate. Although Guy was a somewhat controversial president, foul play is not suspected. There were witnesses who reported that the vehicle which instigated the wreck was speeding, swerving between the lines and cutting other drivers off as well for at least 5 or 6 minutes before the tragic accident. One witness says it could have been any of us who they eventually ran off the road. The aggressor fled after the accident and police have few leads other than make and model. Guy had been president of the Roottree Company for only 4 years, through an undoubtedly volatile period in the company's history. He and his wife had no children. Okay. Yeah. Him and his wife Patricia. So let me go back to Guy Hudson, see what we're missing. So we're missing his wife Patricia. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah. Is that it? Duck of Wisdom? Yep. Business Watch mentioned something from his childhood. He had another. I'm sure we typed these in. Did we not? Did I just blank out? There we go. No, I've actually been in here. Oh no. What did it say? Going from his childhood, which sounds interesting. Okay. Twin sisters are no stranger to public when it comes to Roottree snacks. They both appeared in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Boys and Girls Agree. Search. Found a site about successful ad campaigns. One of the ads listed is from the late 50s. Boys and Girls Agree is a series of television and magazine ads for Roottree chocolate bars. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that Roottree is their favourite. The first advertisement in the series was the most memorable due to the bright red hair of the boy and the girl involved. One of the magazine advertisements has been added to your evidence. Okay. So what have we got here? So we've got these two. They agree on Roottree. Yeah. Both of them agree Roottree is their favourite. So is this just the extra pictures? I think it's just the extra pictures. Which is fine. That's not really what we're here for. It's a good idea to look into people's business ventures. Ron Roottree's company sounds interesting. Did I never look into Ron Roottree's company? Ron Roottree. Head of RR Productions. Oh. Now we're talking. Defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble. You find a comment on a Usenet board stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name considering the rumours about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Roottree. He did change his name. There's not much relevant information about Robbie Roottree. In a comment thread on a message board about television cliches, you find a thread called Why Was Brother Trouble Cancelled? One user speculates. I think it's because the writing went really downhill in season 2. They actually had an episode where Roxy was addicted to sniffing markers. Another person replied, maybe it's due to the rumour about Robbie Roottree in Silver Screen Magazine. Silver Screen Magazine. So Robbie Roottree. Silver Screen Magazine. Ron Roottree? Okay, I think I have to look it up here first. Silver Screen Magazine. Yeah, sure, that's what I meant. Silver Screen Magazine was a Hollywood insiders magazine focusing less on actors and actresses and more about the nitty-gritty of writing, directing, costuming, set design, film promotion, and other elements of filmmaking. It ran from 1983 to 1993. It was bought by a bigger, more recognizable magazine a few years ago, and the website now redirects to the new magazine. The new magazine doesn't appear to have any relevance to your case. Okay, but now I now have this as something I can search. Yes. Okay, and then I want to look for Ron Roottree. Here's an article about Ron Roottree from 1984 entitled "Don't Blame Nepotism, He Gets Results." After finding some small screen success, first as director for many soap opera episodes, then stepping in as showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron has decided to start his own television production company. Ron was born in the US but grew up in Paris with his once famous mother and brother Robbie. He gobbled up American cinema whenever he could, and when he was old enough to return to Hollywood to attend film school. Returned to Hollywood to attend film school. He brings a special kind of charisma and an eye for unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those he's worked with have gone on the record saying he's an attentive director and can work with actors to make sure the timing of a joke lands perfectly. Ron plans to pitch new shows in to major television studios as soon as 1986. Until then, he plans to find the right project. He has occasionally called upon his younger brother for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. This is Robbie. Small Rumours article from 1992 that claims television screenwriter Robbie Roottree was allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in a French court of law. It seems he, again allegedly, embezzled from the company R Productions to fuel a gambling habit that left him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. He then fled to Paris, where he grew up, and then Silver Screen continues to insist this is all very much allegedly, assaulted an officer who came to question him. The article's author said they were unable to get a statement from French authorities, but received information from an anonymous source. They were able to confirm through public record there was a trial involving Robert Roottree around the time that Brother Trouble was cancelled. Interesting. So we know you're a writer. I think we can now say you're a writer? Screenwriter. Yeah. That's interesting. I need more. I'm sorry, hint. There's only one free spirit left to place. Yes, it's you. That's true. There's only one name left in the caption of the free spirit's photo. Yeah, I understand. It's you. Right? I mean, it's you. We already know it's you. We've already, like, yeah, we've got that. It's obviously... Wait a second. So who does that make you? Caroline? Wait a second. No. Roottrees. I need another hint because I don't understand what you're getting at. According to the Butler Summer Theatre, November Studios creates choreography. Ah, you are a choreographer. Dancer? Okay. I don't feel like that was well done by me. Yeah, I feel my leaps of logic failed me miserably. Okay, one missing. Booyah.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations! I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Who is EC? I have to type in who is EC. and his spouse. Well, I mean, that's you. That much is obvious. You hang around with Mr. Miller. So you're someone Miller. Let me go back. I know where this is. So this is in you. Wait, is it in you? It's in you. There we go. Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. No, so it's not this one. Eli Jr. designed the warehouse. No, it wasn't you. It was with Sam, right? EC and John. So you must be John. Yeah, so you're John. John Miller? I don't know where I'm getting Mr. Miller from. But it's somewhere in the depths of my mind. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I'm just seeing if we got anything else in here. Mr. Miller. Then we go back to the second. So there was definitely it was a misprint or something on this one. Grape, elderberry, egg cream, cinnamon, melon. Grape, elderberry, egg cream. Yes, wait, you must be Edward Clancy. Because he said it was the wrong way round. Right? So you're Edward Clancy. Now, why do I think you're John Miller? That's the question. Why do I think you're John Miller? I mean, I know you're John. I just need proof that Miller is correct, and then I'm good to go. Where's the second life between wars? Revisiting the diary? Back to names. Names, this is where I got this from, right? So I once received certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree and I had to tell them it was the wrong name. So that's obviously where that one is. Wait a second. Anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. Well, you're not the firstborn son, so that's fine. That's fine. Clark? Wasn't Clark, it was Sam. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor and his roommate Mr. Miller. Right, so he's John Miller. Perfect, it's Edward Clancy and John Miller. Yes. Last two are optional, you can summon me whenever you wish, however this will end your search and reveal the truth. This is correct. I'm ready. But first, here's the final optional entries you found. None. Number of optional entries left for next time. I did miss a couple. Booyah.
So, you thought EC was Edward Clancy Roottree, and his partner was John Miller?
I think I'm right.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm Sam Madsen, though you know me as Samantha Roottree. Yep, I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago. My book tells the truth about Elias, the 5 pieces, and my parents. Not my biological parents, Elias Jr. and Patsy. My fathers. Edward Clancy Roottree and John Miller. By now, you've either read Lauren's diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser.
I have definitely read her diaries.
Lauren was right. I hated the 5 pieces. She just didn't know my full reasoning. My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man. But his identical twin Clancy and his father, Elias, were not. At age 16, my father was caught kissing a farmhand. Back then, they wouldn't even acknowledge gay people existed. Having one in the family was unthinkable. The same year, I was born. A bastard granddaughter. 2 stains on Elias's perfect family. He decided to fix both. They tried to erase Edward Clancy. They even removed his 5 pieces flavor. His name was deemed a dirty word. He became EC. We were sent to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation away, to isolate me from family. But Elias couldn't erase us from existence. Laura never realized I was the little girl from her diary. Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine, except without the beard. And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work. It's a fluke there's a picture of my father at all. But there he is in the background. The 6th 5-piece. Patsy returned, and things got complicated for Elias. She fought for my freedom, from a life she deemed unworthy. Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father.
I just realized all of these were from evidence, but we never saw this. So I must have missed this. So if I typed in her name, I would have got this as well. Probably. Ah. Yeah. Interesting.
At Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home. I began to hate the 5 pieces. My father made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president, but due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy, a real Roottree. He nearly ruined the company. When Ernie took over, he saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions. Ernie earned about $36. They got by on Debbie's salary, but when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills. His death was my tipping point. Originally, my book was meant to expose Elias's hypocrisy. Until I started to look into the other dirty laundry.
Oh, I just realized something, which I should have realized earlier. And she obviously just told us, but at one point, we knew about that line of the family without knowing about her. So we would have known that they weren't getting the salary if I'd paid attention to the fact that they needed their medical bills paid. It didn't even click for me. Oh, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense.
Ron tried to have Robbie removed from the trust, but couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock.
Okay. So it was Ron removing Robbie. See, in my head, it had them both as, being ostracized, but no, it was... The story was actually Ron and Robbie had an their side of the family had a feud. Okay.
That sounded familiar. The Clancy Trust that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future. His entire family's future. He couldn't write exceptions in without the whole thing falling apart. My book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as, and that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust, as anyone else. The Clancy Trust will secure their future. They can decide what to do with their shares. But I'm old, and I'm not in it for the money. The truth has been eating away at me for years. But now, I can set the record straight. Thanks to you. As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has. Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future. So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light. And when it does, my share of the Clancy Trust is yours. Like I said at the beginning, set for life. Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's. Everything finally feels complete. Unless a whole lot more root trees somehow appear from thin air. This is the last time I'll come knocking. Thanks again, and so long.
We're rolling, rolling, rolling on down to the sea.
Thanks to your hard work, Sam Madson's book was published. It received mixed reviews. Life went on and a new president took over the company. The Roottree family faded from the news cycle. And then everything changed. There's another mystery to solve. Roottree Mania is now unlocked as a new game. I'm a secret Roottree t-shirt. Okay, so with that, we are going to end this mini-series that we did. Let me open the credits as well, because I do like these to play. Just to have something to talk over and to show it off. I don't think the credits are going to be super long, because originally it was made by one person for Game Jam and then expanded. This was fun. I think it was good. I would say I enjoyed about 90% of it. Right until the end, where it became a little bit like frustrating to figure out where to go next. But I feel like that's part of the fun of these. If you do figure it out, suddenly everything clicks into place. The final thing was also cool, because I hadn't quite figured it out until it said, well, who's this person? And then it was like, well, I've been reading this diary. I'm so involved, I'm so into the diary. I've worked stuff out. What does it mean, mysterious man? I assume that might be for the Roottree Mania line. Anyway, yeah. But it was definitely interesting. I think it was well done. I enjoyed playing it. I'd also, in case you didn't realize, played it in one go. So it was definitely towards the end, getting to the point where I was like, I have no idea where to go, and I've been looking at this for 5 hours. So, yeah. I think that potentially if you play it differently, you might get a different result. Are we going to play the second one? I don't know whether we're going to play the second part of this. I'll need to have a look. It did say originally that the game is 10 hours long, and we just played like 5 hours, so I'm assuming that the other one is a similar length thing. So, yeah, we might. I'll see how people like this one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed it and want to see the next part, let me know. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.